Excellent. Okay, so we're recording. I've got to put my best behavior on now because we're recording. Well, hello everyone, and thank you for joining the webinar. I'm Matt. You may have heard of me before. If not, then apologies. Whoa. Hold on, I'm getting pinged. Teams. Anyway, stop pinging me, guys. So thank you for joining. I'm Matt. If you haven't heard of me before, I'm Director of Product Strategy for campusM. And today I'm joined by the very wonderful and hugely charismatic Daniela. Say hi, Daniela.
Hi, everyone. I'm Daniela. I'm a product manager in the campusM team. I work closely with Matt, report to Yara, who's also on this meeting. Yara, would you like to introduce yourself?
I joined just to say hi. So everyone, thank you for joining us. It's an exciting day for all of us. So looking forward to see what happens with this React Native. Thank you for joining, Daniela and Matt. Enjoy it.
Excellent, thank you. So if you hadn't already gathered, we're here to talk about campusM React Native. It's the brand new app that you guys have available to you now to start playing with and exploring. I'm super excited about this. I think it's it's the next evolution of campusM. It's really building for future engagement. Over the next slides, the next 20 minutes or so, we're going to go through some of the detail around React Native. I'm going to talk a bit about what React Native is all about, what we were aiming to do with React Native, why we've done it, what are the benefits, things you need to be thinking about. I'll then give you a brief demo. So a wee little secret here, I may have pre-recorded the video just because I struggle, as you can see, with WebEx. So I'll be doing a live voiceover of the video. So what could go wrong there? I'm sure nothing. And then I'm going to hand over to Daniela to just take us through the upgrade progress and a bit upgrade process in a bit more detail. And then, we're going to leave plenty of time for FAQs as well at the end. Now, if you do have any questions, please put your questions in the panel. Hopefully you can all see the question panel. Let's see. Anyone there? If you want to type in a little question, make sure you're all paying attention. Put them in there as we go through. We'll pick them up at the end and hopefully we can answer those questions. So without further ado, let's talk a bit about React Native. So there's actually a bit more to it than just React Native. There's a number of components that we pulled together for this project. And we started off really actually a long time ago when I was putting together the timeline. It surprised me just how far ago it was that we started this. And it's the usual thing with a technology project. We were looking and evaluating all the different technologies that might come together to deliver our next generation of platforms, if you like. There's a lot of evaluation work that went through POCs, and we started that in 2021 and we're now here in 2024. And it's been a journey. It really has been a journey, and at times it's been painful. There's been tears, there's been rages, but I think, like all of these things, we've given birth to this beautiful thing, and this beautiful thing will grow to be a teenager and a fully functional adult, and you're going to love it, I'm sure. So with React, there's a couple of components that come together. We've got the React piece itself. React Native is a language, a framework that was really put together with the likes of Facebook and others. It's open source, and it's really been widely adopted, particularly by the mobile community, just because of the way it manages the interface and updates the screens and all the rest of it. It's now really quite a mature platform. So we're not, we're not come down on the side of something that's really cutting edge and may disappear. This is established technology, it's reliable technology, and it's a technology that is evolving and brings more and more tools for us to develop again. It's really great for us because what we're doing with the React Native project is we're creating a single code base but compiling to many different platforms. When I say many different platforms, I mean iOS and Android. It just allows us to simplify our technology stack, whereas before we would have developed for iOS and Android and to a certain extent tablets separately. We've just started to consolidate the technology stack around React Native. And that means, it's great for us. We simplify that technology stack. It means we can bring more developers on board. It means we can bring more stuff to you guys going forward. There's consistency, there's quality, lots of benefits for you, lots of benefits for us. We also introduced a new query language as part of our this new technology stack, GraphQL. This has really been really enabling, I guess, for us, because this allows us to, for the client, if you like, to query and get data in a better way. It also means that we've achieved what we set out to achieve right at the start, which was to develop a new app and make it hot swappable with the old app. Because when we embarked on this project, we wanted to really reduce any form of barrier of adoption that we could, and that was one of our key objectives. We wanted to get to the stage where in terms of upgrading to the new app, it would be painless, and I think we've really achieved that. And GraphQL is a key component of that, because it's allowed us to reverse engineer, or at least engineer in a way that we can utilize the existing data architecture, also all the configuration that you've got in App Manager and all the rest of it. We can translate that through GraphQL and push it to the app. And there are lots of benefits that will also come out of GraphQL. But you've got to be around for the next 2 or 3 years to see all of that come together and see all the cool stuff that we've got planned on this new platform. Now, it would be wrong for us to not taken a look at some of the key areas of the app in a bid to make it better for users from day one. And so we've picked out a number of key areas that we've really tried to enhance as part of this new build. And the first one is universal navigation. It's in part because we've got this single technology stack and we're embedding the idea of consistency at the very heart of what we do. We've drilled that down into the navigation. So whether you've got an iOS or an Android version of campusM, in React Native, you have a pretty much identical experience. It's the same navigation for both of those platforms, which is very different from what we had before, with Android having hamburgers and iOS having bars. We've got both now, so how cool is that? Hamburgers. I think we did land on whether it's a kebab rather than a hamburger, because it's a little thinner than a hamburger, or you could call it an overflow. That's probably the more professional name for it. But I quite like the idea of a bar and a kebab. It makes me think of all those nights out when I was a youngster. So as I say, we've unified the navigation. We brought in the navigation bar at the bottom, so wherever you are in the app, you've got this kind of unified place to get back to home and get to the key areas. We've got some really cool stuff that's coming around that with day view. I'm not going to share those secrets yet, but be prepared for this bar to change slightly going forward. And then we've got the overflow menu, which will which will evolve over time. At the moment, we put in a range into the overflow bar, as well as sending feedback and sharing. But it gives us another place for us to, provide navigational cues for users. So this consistency, I think it's great for users. It's certainly going to be good for you from a support point of view, because there's that consistency regardless of what platform they're coming into. Now, there are two key areas that we know, lots of students use. One of those is the calendar, and we've done a complete redesign of the calendar, bringing it much more into a more modern calendar view. We've also, when we designed and developed the new calendar view, we had naturally an eye for the future, because we see that the calendar being a key navigational mechanism for students to navigate their day. And so this new design gives us ample opportunity and room and space to be able to then start to really innovate in the calendar space. But the key principles are there in terms of being able to provide a blended, unified calendar view. We've added in the ability to zoom in and zoom out in terms of your day, week, month views, and the key information that a student needs to get to, we've tried to make it easier and quicker to get to that information as part of the interface change. That also leads me nicely into the maps, because not only is the time really important, but also the place. Yes, we're recording, don't worry. The place as well. So we've completely redesigned maps again. We've brought in a, it's actually nice when you click on maps, the first thing you see is a map, which is slightly different from what you do now with multiple layers of navigational elements. Actually, when you get to the maps, that's what you see. We're bringing in, again, new design interface elements here as part of our new design system. So you'll see the components here will start to appear in other places. We've got a lovely animated draw. You'll see when I do the demo, I get a little obsessed with that animation because I like it quite a lot. The way to filter is very similar to what you've seen in the new events design as well, with the quick selection tabs at the bottom. So yeah, really nice view. We've done some work with our early adopters around this just to make it as intuitive and as friendly as possible, and we will continue to develop and enhance as we go forward. I'm sure you've all seen and sat through our roadmap webinar. If you haven't, let me know and I'll send you the recording to help you get to sleep at night. But there you'll see, we've got some really cool ideas around both calendar and maps going forward as well. So in summary, look, this is the biggest change in campusM really, in terms of, certainly since I've been there, and those amongst you that remember Blackberries, it's probably the biggest update since we released the BlackBerry app, and we saw how long that lasted. This one's here to stay. It's what we're doing with the new technology stack is really focusing on our ability to innovate and be agile, improve the consistency, and ultimately improve the quality of the product going forward. You will already see, as soon as you download and start interacting with the app, it feels, I'm going to say, buttery. I'm getting into kind of design language, and I'm trying to find my creative edge here, but there's that smoothness and buttery nature of a really good native experience that I think, it's subtle, but people notice, and it becomes a more delightful experience on the back of that. We've done the work around maps and my calendar, and really what I want to leave you with in terms of those two elements is this is where we're starting from. This is our new starting point. So you will see us bringing more features and functions in these areas going forward. It really does allow us to build on those going forward. And then, you know, I think when we set out on this project, on this journey, we really wanted to make it as easy as possible for customers to move. And I think we've achieved that. And hopefully you'll see that when you get your hands on it. If you haven't done already, it really is very hot swappable. Now, just in terms of thinking about the change, and Daniela would talk a little more about this when we look at the upgrade process. You know, from your point of view, there will be some smoke testing to do. We want you to have confidence in React Native. You're likely to need a little change management with users. You can see there are changes in the interface, in the calendar, and in the maps. So, you know, I think it would be as you look to roll this out, you may need to update some of your documentation, and I think you probably need to do a bit of change management with your audience just to let them know that a change is coming. And we do think if you're an attendance customer, you're likely to want to do more user acceptance testing just to make sure that you're confident in how the feature operates for you. And it really is user acceptance testing, not regression testing. We've done that, been there and got the t-shirt. This is about you just making sure you're happy and confident about it. So with that said, I'm going to try and play this video and talk over the top of it. I should apologize in advance if it goes wrong, but let's see whether we can get this to work. Okay, so first off, we've simplified the login sequence. So now you select your profile group, profile, accept terms and conditions, and then you go through to the login screen. So it's a slightly different login order. We think it's a little more intuitive. I'm typing away and logging in here. Accept. And all your wizards that you might have, your introduction screens will continue. Lock screen is there and all the rest of it. And you'll go through to the home screen. Now you'll see the subtle changes in the navigation now, but that home screen is essentially the same. So again, we tried to keep it you know, as minimal in terms of big changes as possible from the home. Here's the overflow menu. We talked about that. Just allows you to go into arrange, share, and feedback. Arrange works exactly as it did before, so I can move tiles, remove tiles, etc., as I could do before. Search. So we've done some subtle changes in search. It's more performant. We've also given a lot more information back on why we're returning search items. So, you know, in alerts, you'll see a brief summary of what that alert is. Alerts is very similar, but you'll see that we've added in a delete element against each of the messages. So again, a little quicker to be able to remove messages and manage your messages. They operate as they do, so links, you know, move into different areas of the app. It functions as it usually does. Settings, very similar again, no big changes here, except you'll see at the bottom we've got a clear identifier about what version of the app you're using. Again, if you're reporting errors, it's good to provide us with that information, what version you're using. Now, into the calendar, and this is the big area that you'll see a change. You see, I go straight into a week view, so I can scan the days of the week. I've got multiple calendar feeds in here, and you can see me clicking the top tab and filtering through those calendar views: course timetable, exam timetable, and event, and then a blended view. When I and at the top there, I can change from day, week, and month view. So again, you can, and you'll see there was some color coding there to show when there's been events from different views within the calendar. If I go to an event itself, any minute now, see, there you go to an event. The typical information is displayed. I think this is a much cleaner interface. I can go straight to the maps from here, and then you get to see our lovely maps interface. And look at that lovely panel showing animation between location details and the actual location. I can very quickly get directions here. This is a lovely thing that Daniela worked with the team on in terms of clustering locations when they're close together. When we pull out, you'll see them cluster together. Then as you zoom in, they're teased apart. You can favorite events, you can get directions to events, or locations. All the location information is the same. You'll see at the top there, I started to use the filter to start to filter locations by categories. And again, so you can see I'm obsessed with the draw feature within here. Again, we can see the clustering, moving in, moving out, really buttery, really lovely, smooth. I love it. Allows you to get to where you need to and see the information you need to as well. And again, straight through to navigation using Apple or Google Maps, depending on what you set. Back to the location, the events, and I think that's probably it in terms of the demo. That didn't work too bad, I didn't think, the voiceover. Maybe not quite as good as the best sports commentators, but there you go. And I think with that, if I can move on, I'm going to hand over to Daniela. Do you want me to drive the slides, Daniela, or?
No, I think I can share.
Okay.
Let me try and share my screen. If I'm able to, I'd rather drive the slides myself. So I'm sharing my screen. Okay. No, I don't want to continue here. I would like to continue here. Can you see my screen?
Yeah, I can see your screen.
Yes. So I will just a second swap this. Ta-da!
Brilliant.
Okay, so yes, hi everyone. Let's talk a little bit about the upgrade process. So by now, probably if Matt did as good as did a good job, you probably understand that that you do want to get the React Native app. So how do you do this? What's the timeline for that? Let's talk through this a little bit. So this is our timeline. So somewhere around 2021, a long time ago, we started the development of the React Native app. And during 2023 summer, we had a process with some early adopters. By the way, this is the time and the place probably to thank them all. We got a lot of valuable feedback, and we really improved the app, and we are still improving. It's important to note that we're making very quick changes now to suit the needs, to make sure that everything works smoothly. So if you have any feedback, we do respond to it and make the necessary changes. So in December, actually a little bit before, but we made React Native available to all of our customers in Q4 2023. When I say that we made it available to all of our customers, I'll show you in a second how you can go to App Center and download it from there. We made it available as the preview version in an App Center. And in the beginning of this year, we already have some live customers with the React Native app. And when I say live customers, what I mean is that the entire cycle of the release, their production app, the app that is in the stores for their students, their preview app, their sandbox app, all of their apps are actually React Native apps, and they're continuing with the same cycle that you all know well. With the React Native app, they're no longer using the current existing app. They're only using the React Native app. So somewhere around Easter 2024, we want to push the React Native app to our EU and EMEA and NA customers. So what we're planning to do, basically, I believe that most of you are familiar with our mandatory releases. We have 3 of them each year, usually. So usually there's a mandatory release in May. And what that means is that we automatically build and submit to the store the latest version of the app at that point. So what we're planning to do in the June release in 2024, we're planning to do the mandatory release in June instead of in May for our EMEA and NA customers. And in this release, we will build and submit the React Native app instead of the existing app. You can opt out of this process, and the deadline to do so is May 6th, 2024, because we need to know in advance that we should skip you and not build the app for you. But we'd strongly suggest to not opt out. We actually strongly suggest to move to the React Native app even before June. And our transition goal for all EMEA and NA customers is August 2024. As you can see, we are trying to make it before start of term. We understand that it might be a struggle for you to switch in the middle of a term. We're trying to make it as easy and seamless as possible for you to switch to the new app. So where do you access your React Native app? How can you view it? So in a second, I'll go over the bullets here, but in a second, I'll also enter App Center live, and I'll show you how you can see your React Native preview. So basically what you have to do is to log into App Center, where you usually preview your app versions. You navigate to distribute, and I'll show you actually 2 places where you can see all of the versions. And you are looking for a version that starts with 11, okay? So currently most of our versions, the Android versions start with 9, and the iOS versions for the current app start with 10. And you're looking for the version that starts with 11. That is the React Native version. And you will see in a second that you may see multiple apps with the same version. It doesn't matter. This is a very technical thing. This is a result of provisioning, and it shouldn't bother you. And in a second, I'll show you how to find the right app. So there it is. So what I did, I just, you saw previously that we already had screenshots of UCL Go in the slide. What I did basically, because in our version of App Center, we see the apps of all of our customers, I actually just entered one of them. This is a regular preview version. If I search for it again, just for you to see, if I search for UCL, just a second. There we go. So here is UCL Go preview for iOS. Here is UCL Go preview for Android. If I click here, iOS, I see that the preview version here is already the React Native version. So it's 11. But say I see 10 point something here, and I see that this is not the React Native version. So I can click see all releases here, or I can click distribute. It'll take you to the same place. Let me show you. If I click see all releases, it'll take me here, and here I can see the different. So this is the regular preview version, okay, for March, and this is the React Native preview version. It starts with 11. This one starts with 10. That's because we are in iOS. And see, it takes us straight to distribute and then releases. I can go back and show you that if I clicked here, distribute, it will still take me to the same place. And here you find the React Native preview version. Starts with 11. This is what you're looking for. Just a sec. I want to get back into presentation mode. So this is how you find the correct version that that you want to test a little bit. So what should I test? And when we say test, again, as Matt said, this is a smoke test. You shouldn't be doing a lot of testing around this. This should be easy and seamless for you. And still, these are the areas we thought it would be best to recommend. What are the areas that we think are, best to test? So the first step to the app, so logging in and authenticate. Make sure that the functionality of your home screen remain the same, that you authenticated with a certain profile, and then you're seeing the tiles that you think you are supposed to see. Make sure you familiarize yourself with a new location of arrange. We had some feedback from customers saying that the arrange function disappeared. It did not. We placed it in a different place, and so just make sure that you see that the different functionality is there. It's just sometimes in a different spot. Explore the timetable and the calendar. Matt just showed you a demo of how the new timetable and calendar look. I'm sorry, the new timetable or calendar. It's the same thing. What I meant is calendar or maps. But make sure that you try out the new calendar and the new map. Also, if you need to do some videos or tutorials for students that show the new calendar or the new map, I think this could be really beneficial for them to see these new features there. And make sure that you validate your integration points, email, LMS, library, ID card, the things that the basic integrations that your students are using. Content pages is another point. The specific content pages to your university. We are trying to test as thoroughly as possible, but still there are things that are very specific to specific customers. So please just make sure that all of your content pages are in place. Try the new notification functionality. So the notification is not new, but the inbox is, and it looks different. So try it out. And of course, one of the most specific things to certain customers are the AEK screens. So this is something that we test thoroughly, but then again, this is something that is very customer specific. So make sure that the AEK screens work as intended. They should be, but just we recommend checking that. And of course, attendance is always a touchy subject for all of our attendance customers. And in this case, we really do recommend testing the attendance functionality thoroughly if you're using attendance for your students. I think this is my last slide, and then I'll check because I'm not seeing. I don't know if you're asking questions in the Q&A box because I'm presenting, and then I'll go out of presentation mode and I'll check the questions. So you downloaded the app, you did your testing, and you want it. You're sure you want it, and this is great. We really want to proceed to the upgrade process. So all you have to do really is to log in a ticket for the support team as you usually do, just saying that you would like to switch to the React Native app. This basically means to us that you already tested the app and that this is the app that you want in the stores for your students. And this is what we'll do. We'll build a new app and we'll submit it to the stores. In some scenarios, some users might be required to re-authenticate upon launching the app. No need to reinstall the app. Okay, so this is not something that your users should encounter. Just in some cases, they might need to re-authenticate. And just going forward, what you'll experience is just really the usual experience, the usual cycle of our releases. It's just instead of seeing a lot of versions, some starting with 10, some starting with 9, some starting with 11, all of your versions for preview, for sandbox, and for production will start with 11, and you'll be seeing each month the React Native release, and things will just continue as usual, just with the React Native app. So now I think I'll stop sharing.
Yeah, we've got some questions, some good questions. We'll go through the questions, please, while we're going through the questions that are already there. If you've got any questions, now is the time to ask them. Just before we get into questions, just thank you, Daniela, for taking us through that. I'm super excited. Well, I'm always super excited, but I'm super excited about React Native. I think this really does give us a foundation to really push forward from. We've got some great ideas. There's some cool stuff coming with DayView, and many other things that we'll be bringing in over the course of the rest of this year and into next year. So get your hands on it. It's going to be cool. So let's go for some questions. I'm going to repeat some of the questions that we've already answered just for the recording. We had a question about authentication, Microsoft authentication and all the rest of it. This will operate exactly the same. As I say, that we've taken time and energy to make sure that reverse engineering and current configuration will operate in the new app. So, from that point of view, nothing will change. The user will go through authentication in the same way, go out to Microsoft or other vendors may be applicable, do their authentication, MFA, whatever it is, come back to the app. It operates exactly as it was. Have changes been applied to the browser version as well, or just devices? So React Native is just a mobile specific development. It's not pushing into the web app. That said, we are developing components, these React components that cut across both. So you will see enhancements flow into the web app, but what we've talked about today, the changes in the calendar and maps, is just focused on the native app. Danielle, if you want to jump into
Yeah,
anything, I don't
yeah,
want
just wanted to say that, for example, specifically the calendar, since we know that we would like the students obviously to see the same things in the calendar of their mobile device and in the web calendar. So currently we didn't change the web calendar to the new display, but this is something that we're planning to do, and it's on our roadmap for 2024. So that's just one example of something that we changed on mobile, and we're planning to include in the web app as well.
Great. There's a question here from Andrew. The preview version doesn't show our splash screen on first load. Shows a drawing of a mortarboard and some books. Will this change in the live version? So, Daniela, I think that's as is at the moment, unless you're.
I think it should be showing the splash screen.
So we'll pick that up. The idea
Yes.
is it will show the
Mhm.
splash screen. The search one is very much our image. We just wanted to put a placeholder there rather than a white space. Again, just to make it feel a bit more inviting, a bit more engaging than just having a blank screen.
Mhm.
Testing in preview for AK in calendar.
So this is a good point.
Mhm.
Yes, and we got that from several customers, and this is something that we will be working on. We would like to release the React Native app to your dev version as well. We know that this is something that was requested by several customers, and this is something that we will do to enable you to test better.
And that that goes for attendance, ID cards, bespoke AKs, and all.
Yeah.
Will the new React app still work with our older bespoke product integrations that were developed by Ex Libris? Absolutely. So, as Daniela said, the AKs and those custom integrations will work in this new app. We've encapsulated in a way where we can run those as well as the new cool stuff. Not that those aren't cool, of course, but the new stuff that we're developing. So yeah, no need to worry there. We would just say, smoke test those and make sure you're comfortable that they are operating as expected. If we did need to delay, well, why would you? Because this is amazing, but if we did need to delay, we pressed it by May. Is there a definite end date when we'd have to adopt it? Is August the latest we can delay if we don't go to June? So it's an interesting question. Look, the sooner we move everyone to React, the more we can focus down on just React and deliver those improvements in agility. Our target is to move the vast majority, if not all customers, ready for the start of the next academic year. But that said, I think we're always open to talk to customers if they are struggling. Please reach out to us sooner rather than later so we can have that discussion. But yes, we really do want to move to React to get your users, our users, and everyone benefiting as much as we possibly can from the new platform.
And just to clarify, and I know that we focus on the new things that you get, but just to say, even the things that simply remain, even delivering the new features or fixing existing issues is also easier and quicker for us in React Native. And this will get you a better experience, because even if you encounter a problem, it'll be easier for us to fix that problem in the React Native platform.
Absolutely. Do we need to have a preview environment to preview React Native? So you should have a preview environment anyway. So you know, that everyone with campusM should have a preview environment. If you're not aware of it, reach out to support desk or to me. We'll make sure you can access that as well. Andrew, completely understand. Look at it, and I'll say this to everyone. You know, this is our starter for 10, so that I'm not saying it's going to be perfect straight out the door. You know, feedback to us if there is an issue with the image not fitting in with your brand or whatever. Feed that back to us, because you know we've got a whole set of enhancements and refinements that we've got planned, but we're open to hear how we can improve it. And if that's, you know, this didn't work for us in the calendar, or our users are feeding back that this was confusing, all of that stuff is really important to us. So please feed it back directly to me or through the support desk, and we'll feed that into our development plans. And Claire, I understand. No worries. Just reach out and we'll have that chat.
Yeah. In any case, the best approach really is to stay in touch with us. We're very open. We really want to hear your feedback. As Matt said, we're open to discuss and negotiate things. And of course, our main goal is not just transitioning everyone to React Native, is really providing you with the best experience. And that experience includes the transition. So we really want it to be smooth for you and fit in with any plans that you already have. We'll be there to help if necessary.
So
Yeah.
what from Callum in the chat rather than in questions, you need to get your device provisioned. So if you've got access to the support desk, let them know, and we'll get your device provision for the preview app for React. If you've got no luck there, just reach out to me directly. Well, brilliant. Thank you for sticking with us. Look, we're putting on new FAQs. We'll review these questions and add if we've got any missed. If you saw this invite, you will have seen that we've got this nice area within the CKC with information about React and all the rest of it. We're filling out an FAQ there and populating that with your questions. Do reach out, as Daniela said. You know, we're all ears. We want to hear feedback, the good, the bad, the ugly, ideas. You know, just talk, because you know we want to make campusM on React Native the best it possibly can be. So you know, keep that feedback coming, and yeah, well, have a great rest of your day. Thank you again for sticking with us. We'll make the recording available so you can share it with your friends and family, and yeah, thank you very much.
Thanks, everyone. Stay safe.
Take care.